Hey guys, it's Laura Smith, SLP Mommy of Apraxia. Kind of on here tonight with a somber note. I just want to talk about report cards and kids with special needs and what a soul-crushing experience it can be. Way to preface a positive video, not. But this is real life sometimes. So today, my kids' report cards came home, and they both knew it. My son more so, who's 7, he's neurotypical, no special needs, and he opened up his backpack and kind of tore into it, and he was so excited because he had all 3s and 1, 2, and if you're not familiar with the new grading system in some schools, it's a 1 to 4 system, not a A through F system. 4 means you shouldn't be in that grade, you should be in the next grade, so no one really gets a 4. And then 3 means you're on track, doing good. And 2 and 1 means there's some concern, 1 being the greatest concern, obviously, and not really meeting expectations. So yeah, it was so exciting, and I was so happy for him, and I was super proud of him because he works hard. But then Ashlyn got into her backpack, and in the past, you know, Ashlyn is on a modified curriculum for reading, writing, and math, not for science and social studies. So her, she is not graded on her report card. She's graded through the goals on her IEP, Individualized Education Plan. So normally what's been done in the past is the report card has an NA, not applicable, and then she just looks for the scores in science, social studies, music, PE, and art. So today she opens up her report card after Jace, and I'm driving, and before she gets into it, like the sweetest little voice of a girl who, you know, Jace works hard, Ashlyn works about 100 times harder. And she goes to more therapies and more tutoring, and all she does is work. She opens up her report card, and in reading and writing and math, instead of the usual NA, it's littered with 1s. And I don't think she knew how to process it. I didn't know what she was looking at, and so she didn't really say anything. So then when we got home, we were looking at report cards, and I was looking at Jace's and praising him and telling him what a good job he had done. And then I went over to Ashlyn's, and we just kind of stared at it blankly together, and she gave me this confused look, not a sad look. You know, Ashlyn's Ashlyn, she's happy and positive and hardworking. But a confused look. And I said, oh, honey, you know, you're not, you know, your gen ed teacher doesn't grade you on these. You know, that was your IEP meeting that we just had, and that's what you're graded on. And she was like, will you go get it? That meaning the IEP. It was sitting by my computer, because we just had our IEP meeting a week or 2 ago. And I finally got not finally, but I got the final copy. And so I took out her IEP, and I just couldn't stop crying. And she gets worried if I cry. And so luckily she has a TA at school who cries at everything. Thank you, Ronnie, for always crying happy tears, because I was able to say, I'm just so proud of you and happy. That's why I'm crying. And so line by line, we went through the student's strengths in her IEP, and the very first line read, Ashlyn is an amazingly hard worker. She never gives up trying and rarely can be seen without a smile on her face. She very much enjoys all aspects of school. She demonstrates the ability to build new knowledge based on previously learned knowledge. And then we went through line by line all the progress she made on the rubrics in her IEP, and she smiled and focused on the positive and all the big numbers in her IEP, but I just had to leave the house because it just broke me. You know, it's not fair. I know that we have to have report cards, and I know we have to have a way to measure, you know, and I did text her special education teacher asking if we could go back to NA, because seeing all ones from a girl who is described as an amazingly hard worker that never gives up trying is soul crushing. It's soul crushing. And so it'll be fixed. The school is great. It's going to be fine. I'm not worried about that. I love her school and I love her staff and they all love her and no one meant to hurt her feelings. But I just want people to know, you know, report cards don't tell the whole story. They just don't. So that's it. Sorry it's a downer. I'd love for you to leave comments for Ashlyn that are positive, to try and counteract this. Even my son, when I was reading her IEP growth from all of her service providers, came out of his room at 7 and was like patting her on the back and telling her, "Good job, Ashlyn, good job," because he sees too. He works hard. No one works as hard as her, and even a 7-year-old can see that. So anyway, yeah, leave a comment if you know her and you follow our story. She'll read them, and have a good night.